his heart was beating when I made it beat. Otherwise, it was not beating.
I am the beating heart of this man.
Okay, the geniuses will see us now.
I'm a pro.
He's very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional.
These are our newly arrived surgeons, Doctors Trowbridge and Greenbaum.
Doctor?
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 We're not doctors.
Are you sure they can handle this?
Oh, we can handle it. We're professionals.
You'll forgive us if we're not instilled with confidence.
Potentially unprofessional pieces of content.
All right, bro. Can you do a clap for me?
Oh shit! 1 second.
There we go.
Right.
What's up? What's up?
We're
This
back to
is
Trevor's pod.
Back. Welcome to Trevor's pod.
That's actually a better name.
Trevor's pod.
Yeah.
We're no longer unprofessional.
Trevor's pod.
This is not Trevor's pod.
I want to start this off with a complaint.
Wait. We have to introduce ourselves officially first.
Oh, fuck, fine.
This is Unprofessional. I'm Trevor.
And Ken.
Okay, and go ahead and complain, you fucking bitch.
Man, my joke, I've used it 2 times and it hasn't landed both times. And I'm pissed because it's a funny fucking joke, but
Okay.
people are just SJWs.
Did you hit me with it yet?
No, I didn't. And so we were just like talking. So we went to brunch on Sunday.
Okay.
And we were talking about like which programs have the hottest residents.
Okay.
And you know, our roommate was like, the University of Miami has like really fucking hot residents. You know, they're all just gorgeous.
Who said that?
Isaiah,
okay.
her roommate.
Gabriel.
And Gabriel. Oh,
Yeah.
we changed it. Okay. Fuck it, our roommate. And I was like, oh, in that case, you know, I was in the ER at our hospital and I saw the new IM residents going by and they were the ugliest fucking people I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
And it got a good laugh out of the guys, but the girls were like, oh, that's disgusting. And then I tried it again today in psych with my residents. And they were like, wow, that's so mean. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's a joke. And I was super annoyed. I personally think it was pretty funny, but I was just annoyed that, you know, people are, you know,
I mean, I'm
saying
sure
this shit.
it's partially you had to be there because, you know, I'm not hearing the joke really, like, but no, I mean,
it's just that like that program sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And University of Miami is good, so they have hot residents. Our program sucks, so they're all ugly. That was supposed to be the joke, but I hated that like people like were just focusing
couldn't
on.
even chuckle at
I
it,
know,
yeah.
And I was super annoyed with it, but whatever. I guess I'll move on. You know, with more PC stuff. With more PC stuff.
Sometimes jokes fall flat, man.
I know, man. I hate it. I wanted it. I was testing it, and I didn't work the first time. I don't know why I stuck with it, but
well, I feel like it's reasonable to try things a couple times.
Yeah.
You can't just have one experiment or whatever.
I know.
With one person.
That's why I had to do it
you have
2
to have
times.
a full. You got to, you know.
I was like,
it's got to be a double blind.
Maybe the.
you have to blind
I was
yourself.
Like, maybe the group wasn't good, but it wasn't the group, man. It was just a fucking joke. I guess.
You do have to try multiple audiences, though. That's for sure.
I've been changing my shit. You know, my group thinks I'm hilarious, but I just use jokes that like, you know, my friends say all the time, and take them as my own.
Okay. So you repeat a lot of what I say, is what you're saying.
Barely anything.
No.
It's mostly what Elle says.
How's psych, bro?
So one story that I want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
The anti-vax story.
Oh yeah, tell me about the anti-vax.
So we were like sitting in like our psych like locker room, and we were talking about, you know, the rotation and like how we had to give our COVID vaccination cards. And one guy was like, yeah, you know, it's tough because they have like a mandate in New York, but they don't in Florida. So you don't have to get vaccinated in Florida. And it was kind of weird to bring that up. And before, the same guy had said that he was thinking of changing his rotations from New York to Florida. And I was like, oh, you know, that's a weird coincidence. And so I was like, have you been vaccinated? He's like, no. And I was like, why? Are you anti-vax? And he like paused for a sec. He's like, I'm anti this vax. And we all started laughing. And one of the other girls was like, I'm glad you said it because he actually told me. And I was like wanting not to tell anyone. And so we were discussing with him.
That's funny. You just straight up asked him, yeah, you anti-vax? You one of those people?
I don't hold back. You know, there's no reason to hold back. I'm never going to see him again. So we asked him like what his views were. And he's like, well, I just don't trust this vaccine. And it just came out so fast. And, you know, the adverse effects. And I was like, bro, you're fucking going to move all your rotations from New York to Florida? just because you don't want to get a vaccine, which like, 100 million people already got, and there's been like nothing, what are you afraid of? It's all fucking the same thing. Like, do you not know how vaccines work? And it's just the dumbest shit, because he's a med student. He's learned all this, and he still like is afraid to get it.
Did he give like his views more so? Like I understand, like, okay, you're getting like a mysterious liquid injected in you. Yeah, you've got other vaccines. Okay, this one was made rapidly. Okay, we don't know the effects of it. Okay, we haven't had studies on it yet. But like,
so his only view was that it was too fast, and I don't think he knows too much about vaccines in terms of like how they work or what goes into it. But there's like, what we learned in immunology was like after 8 months, the chances of seeing an adverse effect is like very, very low.
Our understanding of it makes it way more reasonable, or way less reasonable, to be anti-vax.
Yeah.
But if you have like a layman's understanding of it, okay, you know what? Like, I understand. You're injecting a random liquid into your body that was just made in like a lab very quickly. Fine. Like, I mean, you should get the vaccine, but like with our understanding, it's not like we're putting mercury in.
I know.
Shit. There's nothing. It's you know exactly what's in there.
It just blows my mind that like this guy's willing to change everything.
There's nothing mysterious. Like, you learned it.
Yeah, and now that there's like the mandate, actually, there was some news out that one hospital couldn't do any more deliveries for like pregnant patients.
And here's the thing: there's been vaccines in the past. And that it may still happen, and there may be side effects to this vaccine in the future, right? I mean, it's possible. But like what are some examples of like the rotavirus one with like intussusception? What are some others?
Literally nothing. Like, it's mostly
it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. And the ones that there is, it's like, look, like a child can have an abdominal thing. Yeah. Which still is probably better than having rotavirus.
There's a lot of shit going around that like it's gonna cause cancer, because it's like the mRNA is what's making, they're like, oh, it's a DNA, so it's gonna go and give you cancer because it's gonna change your genetic content. But like, that's not it. That's not even close to what it does. And so I think people are like running with that. And I think he didn't really elaborate on his views, but I think that's what he's like basing it on. And there's so much misinformation out there that I think he just swallowed up. Which is hard to believe, because he's literally taking step 2 today.
Right. So like, if he goes in with the information he swallowed up, he's not going to pass.
He did a study on anti-vax Facebook pages.
The answers are like mRNA, whatever, and then mercury witchcraft. And he puts mercury witchcraft.
I don't know how smart he is, but maybe he does that. Who knows?
Maybe he just gets that question wrong, but then gets all like the neurology.
He's gonna get a 280 on it.
Just shits on me.
The first one with the perfect score. So there was like a hospital actually in New York that shut down its deliveries because half their staff quit because they didn't want to get vaxxed. Oh man! And that blows my mind. Yeah, New York.
That's crazy.
It's like a smaller town. It's like Lewis County or something.
Bro. It has to be upstate or something. Because I mean, like, I walked around the subway yesterday. Not a single person without a mask except me.
With an anti-vax shirt. Take your mask off. Why aren't you wearing a mask?
I was just tired at the end of the day. I mean, I ended up putting it on. I didn't notice I had it off, but...
Yeah, you're setting an example, man.
Yeah, I'm literally a healthcare... Literally a doctor.
Literally in your scrubs with your freaking badge on, and...
Coming from a hospital with COVID patients all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the smartest
You're one of a kind,
decision.
Bro. It's amazing. What was I going to say? Whatever, I don't remember. Okay. Next thing is, how's ER at your new hospital?
Oh, I mean, first of all, I was just talking to Gabriel about this. I really like it a lot better than I almost said it.
Then Wapiti
woo.
Wapiti Hospital.
8 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't have something to write it down with.
That's fine. We changed this. They're not gonna know.
What?
They're not gonna know. We changed it enough. We said Wapiti. Okay. They're not gonna know what it is.
All right. And yeah, it just was kind of like, I really like the residents there. I like most of the attendings, and it was solid. But just, I don't know. After experiencing this other one, it's just nicer. I mean, I've been taught more in like the 4 days I've worked there than I did at. Oh my God! Now I got the
You're like, we didn't do the first time. Fuck it. Second time we're gonna say it.
All right, I literally have to grab something to write with, so I'll be right back.
That's okay. I'll just write on my phone if you want. Yeah, let's say 9 minutes.
God
So,
damn it.
what are the differences that like make you
The main
like
the
that
main
one?
differences
Because
are. Go
before
ahead.
we like get into it, like the rotations that I had at this hospital, like ER was definitely like one of the best, which is like saying a lot.
Right. And,
And
you're not
you're
even
saying-
you're not interested in ER
Yeah.
either.
And you're saying this is because I hated ER, but I was like, this is one of the best rotations
Yeah,
in this
okay.
hospital.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is different that you're saying it's better?
They're more. The main thing I would say is they're more willing to teach, and they teach in a way that's not like, hey, you're a little bitch, you're my little bitch, and you're gonna learn this, and
Yeah.
I don't even want to teach it to you, but I'm doing it out of the graciousness of my heart.
I'm gonna embarrass you. Until you
Yeah,
get
I'm
the
gonna
right
completely
answer.
embarrass you. Like, get on your knees. It's kind of like that, even though I really like them, but just like how much stress all the residents are put under at the old hospital.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why some of them are like that, and then the attendings, I have no excuse. I mean, some of them are kind of, I don't know, like just a couple, but the rest
Yeah.
are cool. And
Well, not everyone's gonna be like great at every
right,
hospital.
but at the one I'm at now, I mean, I've, again, only been there 4 days, but they're just more willing to teach. I've learned more about ultrasound in like the 2 days than I had completely at the old place. With that said, it might just be biased because maybe I just have more experience now, so I can learn more. Maybe have more of a base.
Yeah.
Or
But
all that.
I don't think so because like I went into every rotation not knowing anything, and some I definitely had a lot more better experience than others. So I don't know if that's the case. It may be like contributing factor that you know stuff and you can impress them and you feel good that like, oh, they asked me a question, I didn't fuck up and I didn't like freeze, when they asked me. But did they let you do more hands-on stuff? Like, have you done ultrasounds?
I haven't done ultrasounds yet. I've just tagged along. That would be nicer, yeah. And there's definitely some things I could improve. But
This is your first week, right? Or this is first day
This
of
is my
week.
first week. Yeah,
Okay.
I've had 4 days.
Okay.
And they were all overnight, so there's more time to be taught and stuff.
Yeah.
So I get that.
And how many students are in the rotation total?
And that's another thing. I've been the only student on each day I've been on, whereas normally there's like 4 at a time.
That's great.
And how many I don't know how many students there is total, but there's whatever. Like
That's
8
the other
or
thing.
more.
Like they just stuffed so many students in the rotation.
You're
the other
right.
time.
Yeah, at the old one. Yeah.
If there was 2 students, there wouldn't be enough patients for everyone. We'd see like 3 patients a night in the ER, which is crazy.
which is
over
crazy.
8 hours.
Right.
So I'm glad at least like they run it better. But Anastasia told me she's doing anesthesiology that none of the anesthesiologists want to take her.
Oh, dang.
And so when she said that she got a LOR letter of rec after the second day, she's like, after that, none of the anesthesiologists like gave me the time of day.
Oh, wow.
They're just like, they don't want to teach because some of the surgery core students also do a week or 2 in anesthesiology. So I think they're just worn out by this shit.
I feel that. I mean, that's the thing. It's not like people are just douchebags. It's the product of some kind of thing in the system. Usually, like, look, they're just too fucking busy, or they're just sick of teaching, or whatever. Like,
There's too many core kids, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
because even like a few bad ones like wear you out because you gotta like those are the ones that stick, the bad students.
and core is like you have to do a surgery rotation. So
Yeah.
even if you are going into psychology, like Gabriel is, you still do a core rotation in surgery. So
Yeah.
they're just, those kids are less interested.
Some things you
naturally.
just have to do.
So you just don't really care about surgery. So then if you have a bunch of kids around you that don't care about surgery and you're a surgeon, you're like, all right, why am I teaching anybody
Yeah.
anything? Like, they don't give a fuck.
They're just
And then
like,
when, then someone interested in anesthesiology comes in, or surgery, maybe they get passed by because of all the core students. So.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
how-
So you have to be like exceptional for them to like even give you like the time of day.
And not even exceptional. Like, you also have to put yourself out there a ton. Be like,
Yeah.
yo,
Oh my
I'm
God.
super
That was the
interested, and not
worst.
just once. You have to do it every single day with probably a new attending, like each
It
time.
was
like,
terrible. I would go
Yeah.
up to them in surgery and be like, hey, I studied a lot for this surgery. I looked up the procedure. I'm interested because I was interested in surgery back then. And still, they would like barely talk to me. And I found one attending who would like teach, and then she's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm going on vacation. I'll see you in 8 weeks." I was like, "Oh, okay, I won't be here." But
So you have to
thanks.
take all this like rejection from like
Yeah.
these people you look up to, as well as even if you get taught, it might not even produce a letter of recommendation, which
I know.
you need.
It's terrible.
Yeah, you get taught, which is really great, but damn, man.
I know some people actually who only have 2 letters of rec and they're applying to family med. So they're at this stage and they have to wait until end of September to get their 3rd letter. So stressful. Crazy. And actually, funny thing is, the director of EM at the old hospital that we went to, Anastasia asked him for a letter because she was thinking about EM, and he's like, the latest I'll do it is September 8th. What is it, September 12th now or something, 13th, and he still hasn't done it. Like stuff like that. It's just like,
well, yeah, and he sent out multiple emails saying, "Don't worry, everyone, it'll be done by this time. I promise you." And it's still not in.
Oh, you got it too?
Yeah.
He hasn't done yours?
No.
Oh my god.
He hasn't done any of them.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was like a year ago that you did it.
Yeah, right.
So stupid.
It's literally a year ago.
It's such a stressful time too. Like you're fortunate in one way in that we're going through it now, and then like we can tell you like what the process is, but it's so stressful going through like ERAS season.
Oh, I believe it, man.
Submitting applications, and now they have a new thing, which is like the supplemental application for certain like specialties. So if you're doing internal medicine or dermatology or surgery, you have to do it. And the whole thing is like a double-edged sword, because it's saying, do you have a location preference? And you can pick like Northeast, Northwest, Midwest,
of
whatever.
The US?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you can pick a preference, but like I'm applying to programs all over the US because I'm IMG, like, I don't have any connections.
Okay, so it reduces your chance of getting in somewhere else?
Well, programs will see that, you're more interested in a certain location than another. And then, you can choose not to pick anything and say you have no preference, which is what I did. And you can explain it. And I was going to put, like, I'm Canadian, like, I don't have a connection to anywhere. Why why would I have a preference?
And for me, I would just put, there's girls everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. The bigger the boobs.
Obviously, it's better, right? And some regions have smaller boobs, but there's girls everywhere, and I understand.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to put that, but my personal statement is like, oh, I have family in like Florida, so I want to go here. So it completely contradicts it.
Oh, damn.
So like you can't put anything. And the other thing is like you can signal 5 programs that you're interested. And it's so fucking stupid because like I'm applying to like Duke, let's say. If I wanted to signal them, like they get 20,000 applicants. Like why the fuck would they care if some loser is like signaling them? So I don't really understand what they're trying to do with this, but it's just...
It's like so doing pointless. A super like on Tinder, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, not even a super
fuck?
like. Yeah, doing a super like on a fucking supermodel. Like, she doesn't care, She's going to pick whoever she wants. So, I don't know. Everyone's super stressed, and you're fortunate you can, like, wait on it.
Yeah, I can wait for you guys to get through it all, and also I don't have to like have a ridiculous timeline or like be sweating the fact that my slow, which is something essential for emergency medicine,
too slow
hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. At least you'd be on time to get both of yours when you needed it.
Yeah.
So that's one benefit. Have you made any attending friends in EM yet?
At this new one?
Yeah.
Just one.
Do you work with them a lot?
I've only worked with one attending, and she's very, very cool. Very, very cool.
That was the other thing about that hospital. Like the attendings were all bitches. The women, they were like mostly bitches.
The women, and I mean this in as least biased way
possible. Yeah,
least
sexist way.
Yeah, even though I've already shit myself on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of bitches at that hospital for sure. And there's a few of the men are like cool. But even then, they're like too busy or just don't really care a lot. And then a couple of them are just fucking assholes. Such assholes.
This is at the old hospital?
Yeah, the old hospital. The new hospital, I really only know one attending, but she's dope as fuck.
No wants to fucking teach me. I don't think an attending ever went out of their way to teach me, especially the main guy that like writes the letters. He would listen and then ask a couple questions and that's it. Like never, hey, come see a patient with me, or hey, I'm doing a procedure, come, or like, hey, let me teach you something while you're doing jack shit. So it was kind of unbelievable.
Are you going to be an asshole teacher when you grow up?
I was thinking a lot about what kind of like attending I want to be. And I think I told you, like, I want to reward the people.
You want to rule with power, is what you told me.
I have no interest in power. Okay. Like, it doesn't matter to me at all.
You are Sauron, essentially.
Like, it doesn't matter to me if I'm, like, a high position or a low position. One thing this is, like, no jokes here. This is, like, real talk.
We're 100% serious on this podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to try not to make any jokes.
Yeah, same. One
thing that like made a big difference in my life was mentorship. And I was really fortunate to get a lot of great mentors, like in undergrad and then not really med school, but mostly undergrad, that helped me like find my way.
Like who and what did they teach you?
Like I worked with this professor in like plant biology. He was really great. I even talked to him still. It wasn't like anything he taught me, but it was just like small lessons along the way to like be more detail oriented. And he was just like a very nice guy. He would have barbecues at his place and like invite, you know, his researchers, and he invited me because I was working with him. And then this other doctor I worked with at a hospital when I was like 20, you know, I was such a shithead, but he like took the time to teach me so much and like gave me my introduction into like medicine and research. And then some of the attendings I worked with were like really great too. I don't want to drop any names because it won't work well. So what I want to do is like I want to do that for someone else. Like hopefully I'm at a teaching hospital and someone comes in, and I don't want to be the kind of residents that are like so busy that they don't have time to do anything. I want to like take the good students at least, and like the people that want to learn, and I want to teach them. Whatever I'm qualified to teach, you know. And I don't like the people that are like, you know, try to teach things that they're not like experts in or whatever. So I want to teach them as much as I can, and like what'll help them moving forward. But yeah, like I have no interest trying to better like my position in terms of like, do I want to be like chief resident? I don't give a fuck. But I want to like help mentor the people that are coming next.
Yeah, man. I think like one of the meanings of life is fucking just people who are great or like beast mode at something they do.
Yeah.
And then like teach it in a good way. Like
Yeah.
boom, that's everything. Like that's literally why we're here, just like to do that.
Yeah. And I hate those people that are like, oh, your scores are all that matter. And it's so stupid. You know, I hate how much they focus on scores here, because in Canada, literally, if you get into med school, everything is pass fail. As long as you pass, you're doing good. And it's true, like the best doctors are not the ones that are like the smartest. They're the ones who know how to communicate with their patients the best. So I don't know about you, but like what I want to what are my goals for like this next year is just to focus on my patient interactions and like make it.
You have that ability though, because I have to get scores, so I have to focus on my fucking.
I know, but
I'm not focused on my patient interaction. I'm focused on what's the answer to number 4.
But I'm just saying, in a perfect world, like that would be like the way to go.
It would be set up differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if there wasn't this pressure to get great scores, bro, I would be dumber. That's for sure. So there's something to it.
Of course, they matter. Like, you know, everyone knows a certain amount of information. I feel like once you know more than like 75-80%, it doesn't really make a difference.
Bro, I remember people on like Facebook in high school and shit just screaming on Facebook about like, oh, you know, the school system sucks. Why would you do all this stuff? Like, it's a lot of this isn't applicable.
Yeah.
Why am I learning calculus when I'm not gonna, you know?
Exactly.
And I get it, but at the same time, how else are we gonna like test people to see who's capable enough to do these types
you need
of
like these
like,
hard things to like see who's gonna take that and run with it.
What it takes. Like I don't know. Like if you have a better idea, well, I'm all ears.
Yeah, there's better ways.
I think there's better. Like, you know, for instance, like a different like setup like Canada, but you know, you still have to get scores.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not there literally because you couldn't get a score high enough. Well, and do the interview good enough. But
so yeah, I agree. But like I think right now it's like not too bad, because you find the people that like these subjects, they can like continue on. The ones that don't have to follow them. They can do whatever they want, you know. You don't have to continue with school past grade 12. It's not a lot. You're 18. You can do whatever. We actually
even then you could just skip class.
There was like this, it actually blew my mind today. We had a patient and he was like this 48-year-old guy. He was coming in because he was drinking at a bus stop. He was homeless. And he was like, I was thinking about stepping in front of a bus. So
I wish he had just like a mansion, but was drinking at a bus stop. Sorry,
he wouldn't be at our hospital. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we get fucking MVPs.
We would be going to him, honestly, if he had a mansion.
Yeah, Peyton Manning was at it. No.
And we were like, so what's been going on? And he'd like to talk a lot, but he could pinpoint the exact moment in his life where everything went wrong.
What was it?
It was like
he stepped on a banana.
He cracked his head open.
Poor guy.
No, so apparently he was like, I was a contractor growing up, and I was doing a job for one of my friends, one of my friends from elementary school. He grew up to like be very successful. He had 5 properties and he wanted me to do some contract work. And I did it all, and it was going to be 25,000, but he only paid me 10,000, and I could have taken him to court, but instead I decided to go over there with a gun and I beat his face with the gun. And I got arrested and I got sent to prison for 20 years.
Well, that's a pretty easy pinpoint, bro.
I guess that's true.
And how about this?
He's like, I wonder what it could be.
I've thought on it for a very long time.
It was the alcohol.
Bro, but here's the thing. It might be this, like, there might have been a straw that broke the camel's back that made him do that fucking insane shit. But yeah, obviously, you shouldn't beat people with a gun in the face.
It was actually very sad to hear because he's like, you can tell he regrets it a lot because he kept saying, if I just hadn't done that, because he had been drinking that day. And he's like, if I hadn't been drinking, I wouldn't be here. I would be with a family. And he never got married, never had any kids. And he's been homeless since like basically got out of prison. So he went to prison when he was 23 and then went to prison for 20 years, just got out 5 years ago. So now he's 48. And it's so sad. At the peak of his life, he went to prison.
Also, a moral of the story: pay motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. What a fucking bitch, man. You have 5 fucking properties and you don't want to pay your bills. That's just dumb as hell.
Dumb as fuck.
On a brighter note, Shang-Chi is fucking amazing. And I know I talked about it a lot yesterday, but I want to talk more about it.
The 10 cock rings.
Can you imagine that? He wears them as like bracelets. Imagine if he had them as a fucking cock ring, bro. His cock would have to be huge, and he can't keep it hard all the time. So it must be
I
like.
haven't seen it, so I don't know how large these rings are.
They need to make a parody about that. A porno. So
I'm sure it's already being made.
This is an advertisement. We're getting sponsored by Shang-Chi. Go watch.
We're actually being sponsored by the Chinese government. Yeah. So socialist China. Thank you.
There's no better race than the Chinese, and Uyghurs don't exist. So, man.
This podcast is brought to you by Fuck the Uyghurs.
This podcast is brought to you by genocide.
Jesus Christ.
So,
all right.
The main actor, first of all, he's Canadian, and my friend's sister was in an accounting course with him. And he's like, yo, I'm going to audition for a movie. And he's like, yo, I got the audition. I'm going to be in a Marvel movie. This is all while he's in a chartered accounting course. And so she's like, oh, shit, that's amazing. And then this movie is like, the culmination or whatever of like his thing. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's crazy. He was in an accounting class.
Wait, he's in this movie?
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Oh, that's the story of this guy. Okay, I thought you knew him.
No, my friend's sister knows him.
Oh, okay.
So he was literally in accounting and decided to quit on a whim to go and like become a fucking actor.
That's
and
wild.
He got this amazing role. And dude,
like everyone else, like 99% of the people who do that, it doesn't count for him.
And he's not even that good looking, but it was, I don't know, it worked out for him. And such an amazing movie, and I want to talk about the hype around it, and how it differs from other Marvel movies. And this is a very in-depth analysis, and I want to talk about. So everyone go watch it. You should watch it ASAP.
Yo, I gotta deal with that buzzing. That's insane.
What is it? Is it outside or laundry? Was it that? Yeah, it was So, basically, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, what I didn't like about other Marvel movies. So, one thing that really pissed me off, well, this is going to be a mean way to say it, but Black Panther had too much hype. They were like, oh, first, big movie with like an all-black cast, whatever, black superhero, great. But they hyped it up so much, and I think it fell so short of what it could have been that it was just disappointing. But I think this movie did it completely differently and did it right this time.
I think I went into Black Panther knowing that it was like, I mean, the hype was just insane. And
Yeah.
but it was for reasons that weren't about the movie.
Yeah.
So I understood that, and I went in going, okay, this is probably going to be still an average movie, which is
Yeah.
great. An average movie is solid, you know.
But
and it was, or maybe
it could
a
have
little
been
above
so
that.
much more, is what I like. My argument.
Can't every movie be more? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess that is true. But I think like for the hype, it was just hyped too much. But
Okay.
I think they did really well with this because, you know, right now we're in a time with a lot of like Asian hate with COVID. People fucking, you know, Jeff was telling me, we don't have to blur his name because no one knows who. There's a billion Jeffs. He was telling me that like people come into the hospital and they're like racist to him straight up to his face. Like it's crazy because he's Asian.
Really?
Yeah. And like this
Like
other
what?
guy was telling me,
I don't know if I fully believe that.
I don't know. I've heard it secondhand.
All right.
And this other guy was telling me, he's white, that like when he was in psych, people would just come in and tell him all their racist beliefs against Asians.
Really? Bro, I haven't heard of any of that shit.
Mostly because of Corona, but this is like, this is not New York though.
Okay.
Like it's state with less.
I feel like all that shit is secondhand.
One of it's
maybe I
firsthand, some of
just-
it's secondhand.
Okay.
But I believe it. You know, people have a lot of fucked up beliefs.
I guess.
But they did it good this time in that no one knew anything about this movie going in. There was like, you know, the trailers were out, but they weren't really like, you know, we didn't see them that much. They weren't huge. The expectations were not that high. And so going into the movie with no expectations, like it just blew us away. And it was so much bigger than I ever expected. Like I never expected to be as big as like the performance that I saw. So like in Avengers, when you go to like see a big like Avengers movie, you know that the performance is going to be huge because there's like 8 of them. They're all huge actors. And this one, you're like, oh, there's one guy. No one knows him. There's like no huge actors, but still like ended up being such a huge performance that like went above and beyond what you would expect. And second thing is that like it was a new direction. And like the other Marvel movies, like Iron Man, the first one, Thor, the first one, like Captain America, they were all great in like their regards. But this one went like a completely different direction. It was more like realistic. And it's, I don't know how to describe that, but it was like more real, more down to earth, and it showed like life as it is rather than like at certain like Tony Stark's a billionaire, is living his life, but this is just some random guy doing shit, and it's like he's living like any of us would. He's low income, whatever. And third thing was, fuck, I don't remember what my third point was. I always forget the third
I'll have to
one.
check it out though. I've really never not cared very much about any of the Marvel movies, to be honest. I mean, I like some of them. Some of them it's like, oh, you know, that was a great movie.
Did you catch up to all of them?
No, I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched probably over half. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. They're good. They're good. But I think, you know, fuck. Some people, it's like, it's everything. It's a lot.
So, okay, here's the third point. In a lot of the movies, it's like coming of age, you know, but they do it in a super corny way where it's like, oh, in Black Panther, I'm going to use this as an example because this is the other one with like social justice and shit. In the beginning of the movie, I feel so forced. Unlike Falcon and Winter Soldier just feels so forced that like, you know, the police stop, you know, the black guy. And then in Black Panther, it's like, you know, our communities are just so policed, and sure, that's true, but like it feels like it's just jammed in there. But in Shang-Chi, it was like done more subtle way that was like not so in your face. It's like, oh, you should be proud of your culture, you know, your name's a part of your culture, and you should live it. And I don't know, I just felt like it was everything.
I mean, that's my issue just with a lot of movies in general, is just they don't respect the audience's intelligence very much, and they're just like, look at this discrimination, or not even that, just like look at this poor man getting beaten.
I know.
You know, how dare they? And then you're like, oh, rally.
I know, it's just
you know, that bothers me. But if it's like, you know, the subtle ways that it actually happens in real life, like, then it's like, okay, you know, sweet.
It's like they're trying to fulfill quotas, and
But that's probably what's I mean, there's a reason that some of these movies blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Is because, you know, they do that. So I don't know. Maybe that's just how it is. I mean, like Blade Runner didn't take off, like the new one, because it like essentially flopped at the box office.
Wait, Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
It flopped?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Because it's like it Marvel type money to make it, but it didn't get that Marvel type audience.
Oh.
It's because it's like more of a I don't know how to put this without sounding like a complete dipshit, but it's like a more intellectual type movie. I don't like it's not Vin Diesel running cars into shit and going,
jumping out of
family. It's it's something different.
But it didn't like the prequel come out in like the 1980s or something.
Yeah,
so I think I went to watch that because my friend wanted to watch it, and he's like older. So that's the only reason I saw it. Otherwise, I don't think I would have went on my own accord.
I don't know why I got interested to do it, but it's fucking amazing. It's
I thought it was really good.
I guess I read the book. It's called what? Like
Blade Runner.
No, it's not called that. That's why I'm stalling to think about it. You fuck. It's like electric sheep or something. Do androids dream of electric sheep? That's literally the title.
That's the title?
Book. Yeah, bro.
That's such a shitty title.
I know. It's like regarded as a great book, and it's just the worst fucking title of all time.
I'm sure it's a great book, but damn, you could have picked something else. You should just pick Blade Runner as the title.
All right, bro. Let's talk about me.
All right, bro. Go.
So I'm
not talking about me yet, though.
I'm in the emergency department, and I mean, first of all, the schedule, you just like night shift for anything. I'm guessing, not just ER. You just feel like you're not a part of society anymore. Like, I mean, the obvious reasons: you wake up at 11, you go to work at 11 p.m. and go back at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And so you're awake when everyone else is asleep. But then you wake up and it's like 5 p.m. and everyone's doing their thing and you just feel like not a part of it.
You're a mole person now. Bro.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
Your friends are going out and you're going to sleep and shit. I was literally in here. That Venezuelan girl came over, or whatever, on a whim. But
the one that doesn't speak any English.
Yeah,
that's a reminder.
All right. And then so we're chilling in my room. You guys are out here playing Super Smash Bros, having a blast.
Super fucking fun.
And I hear you just going, oh, oh, oh. So we're like trying to either one rest or two get intimate, and so I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna get intimate because I can't sleep. And then so we literally move to the floor so it's not loud with the bed frame. and we're literally finishing, right? We're both coming, and then right after I just hear, oh.
At least you didn't have to worry about being quiet, bro. I fucking knew that was going on. I was being loud for you. And then she came even harder when she heard that, eh?
I was fucking laughing my ass off. We were cracking up, bro.
You guys should have just waited, bro. We were gonna leave at 7:30.
We didn't know, and we were feeling it.
Oh.
No, it was good. It was a great experience.
That's funny.
No, that was funny as shit.
I hope she enjoyed it more with the screaming. Everyone tells me that I just have an outside voice, but I feel like I'm not that loud.
I don't think you're that loud either, to be honest.
Same. I don't get it.
I have an outside voice.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, okay.
Use your inside voice.
I don't know if that's possible. My inside voice is not talking.
Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of crazy. So this was 2 days ago. ER, people don't usually die. It's not the usual. So I get there. I'm in the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I get there at 11, and they're cleaning up after a kid just died in the back in the resuscitation bay. We're trying to resuscitate him, and he didn't make it. I think it was a 3-month-old. I guess the story is kind of crazy too. So it was in Brooklyn. It's in the New York Daily News, whatever the fuck. But the car was speeding down the wrong way of a one-way and just fucking crushed a stroller with a kid in it.
What
and then
the
mom,
fuck?
yeah. And then
why were they going down the wrong way?
I don't know what the story was with him, but and then once he crashed, he fled and then got caught. Obviously,
what a fucking bitch.
But yeah, so the kid ended up dying in a hospital, and then the mom was in severe condition, but I know she was in the ICU by the time I had left, but yeah, crazy. I didn't see the kid or anything, but death due to trauma.
Yeah, I fucking hate these kids, or these people that
fuck kids.
Go down these. They have fast cars. They lease them, so they can get super fast cars for cheap.
And they're not used to the power or what?
No, they just want to show off because Brooklyn, you got to stand out. In New York, everyone's there's 10 million people.
And the only way to stand out is to go the wrong way down a one-way.
Yeah. Crush a mother and her poor kid, eh?
Yeah, but that was fucked up. I didn't see it though, really. So, but we were doing our shift, and then it's nearing the end of the shift. I'm like doing history for this lady who came in with chest pain. That was the most serious thing I'd seen all night. Oh, excuse me. And so I'm recording it, and then everyone just starts running to the resuscitation bay. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. And one thing that's supposed to happen is fucking EMS is supposed to call us. You know, you're supposed to hear a ring on the phone, and they go, hey, we're bringing in this person.
Oh, yeah.
For this reason, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. And they didn't do that for the trauma case either. Although that one is at least like outside on the street for this one. So, and then they bring in a kid, right? This is a 3-year-old kid. Well, bro, we don't have like all of our Pete stuff just ready out and ready, you know? Like if you told us before, we'd be able to have like the child size intubation tube to make it so they can breathe ready and all that stuff. But we, you know, so that was unfortunate. And then, so they all run over. I finish up my history, and then I come over. There's just like 30 people, you know. That's how those always set up, you know, and they're doing advanced cardiac life support for this kid.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's 3-year-old.
What's wrong with his heart?
The only thing we were told is that by EMS is that it could be, they just found him face down, and he had some swelling on his face. So they're like, all right, maybe it's an allergic reaction. I still don't even know. Yeah. But we're assuming it's an allergic reaction. It closed his airway. That's how the mom found him. And he was in asystole on the way here, and he wasn't breathing. And then so they intubated him there. But when he got there, we had to what's it called when you take out the intubation tube? Whatever.
Extubate?
Extubated him because it wasn't in place. It wasn't in the right spot. So then we intubate him, or we're trying, right? But he's like, he like keeps clenching, like everything's tightening up. I don't know why that happens. I haven't learned that yet. But
is he dead at this point, or what?
No, I mean, I don't know what's considered dead. At what point do you consider that?
Like,
because that's the whole point of resuscitation, right? Is to bring your heart back. But anyway, so I walk onto the scene, right? There's like 30 fucking people. You know, there's
You're
some
like,
people,
step aside, guys. I got this.
Yeah, and I'm like, everybody back up. And I breathe the breath of life back into this child.
And he gets up and goes home.
Yeah. And then I have a kid now. It's crazy. So he's mine.
See you later, Mom.
And so I walk on the scene. There's like people recording, you know, each time we put epinephrine into the kid. There's people doing this and that. EMS is telling people this on the side. And there's like an EMS guy doing compressions on the kid. And so I start to walk in. You know, my job is kind of, I only know how to do a few things in this situation. I'm not going to be the doctor and tell everyone what to do. So I walk in. I'm looking to see if I can do compressions or something. I make eye contact with the EMS guy, and he's looking tired. Like he looks like he's been doing it for a while. So I'm like, all right, I better fucking get in here. So I just, you know, if you don't step in, that people aren't going to call for help. Yeah. You know, it's like, look, step in if you feel like you can help. So I walk in. I'm like, you need help? He's like, yeah. And so we 3, 2, 1, switch. I'm doing compressions, right? I'm doing compressions. I'm getting tired. I do a round. I do another round. Okay. Then this girl next to me is like, hey, I can do compressions when you're ready to switch. I'm like, fantastic. Because it's a tiring process.
Yeah,
I mean,
2 minutes is insane,
you're crushing this person's chest over and over again. You know, it's a super aerobic exercise.
2 minutes is a long
I mean, 30% of the time you do compressions, you break their ribs. That's how hard you're doing it. Yeah. So
30%? I thought it was like a fucking 100%.
I thought it was 100% too.
Yeah.
I read somewhere it was 30%. I thought that's literally the point is you have to break the ribs so you can be pressing on
I think young people you can go further, but we usually get all old people. So
yeah,
like
exactly.
The ribs are always broken.
Can't imagine. I mean, have you ever seen, what are those machines called that are just fucking working?
The plunger thing? That's what they're doing it? Yeah, I've seen
Bro, those break your ribs 100% of the time. There's no fucking way.
Crazy.
They're insane. If you've ever seen one of those machines doing CPR, it's the most barbaric shit I've ever seen.
The first time I saw it,
it's just bouncing your chest like a basketball. Like it's fucking insane.
It feels like it's going way too fucking low.
Way too hard, dude. I mean, obviously they have it synced to the right thing, but
if they use it, that means you're already like long gone. Like
you're fucked.
It's like me doing something is not gonna do anything. We need the fucking big boy, the plunger, to come in.
So I'm doing compressions. I'm getting tired, right? And then this girl's like, here, I'll do it. And she does not look very big, right? And we've already discussed in the podcast that literally at the old hospital, you do not, like, girls don't do compressions. Yeah. We just don't allow it. So this girl steps in, fine. She starts doing compressions, way too soft, right? And a little bit too slow. So the
Is she a student?
I don't know who it was. It wasn't a med student.
Okay.
But it might have been like a PA or someone. Oh, I think it was a pediatric. It might have been a pediatric something. I think a pediatric doctor, pediatric PA, something like that. So she's in there. Pretty small frame, not a huge girl, but she like very small actually. But she's starting to do compressions way too soft, kind of too slow. And then the resident speaks up, and this is the intern, who's actually kind of shy, but he's like, hey, you got to do them harder and a little bit faster. She's like, okay. For like 2 pumps, she just gets it hard enough to do it like good enough, and then regresses back to like how she was doing it. So I'm like, fuck, like this child is not getting like blood supply to his brain. Like
he's already dead. You're not gonna do any more damage.
he's not getting blood supply to his brain because you're not pumping like the heart hard enough.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, what are my options? I can speak up. Or I can, get someone else to do it, or I can hop in again.
Yeah.
So, again, a resident says something. Hey, you got to do them harder. Okay. Just not doing them harder. Just not doing it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to hop in. So then I hop in. I do a round. Bro, I'm tired. I do another round. Bro, I'm tired as shit. Bro, I did 3 rounds in a row. I'm fucking dripping sweat.
Yes.
My glasses fell off my face halfway through this shit, bro. My stethoscope's like lodged in behind me.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
funny that you say that because all that shit happened to me too.
Really?
Yeah.
A new girl walks up and goes, hey, I can do compressions when you're tired. I'm like, all right, fantastic. Go ahead. Does the same thing as the last girl, bro.
Man.
Not hard enough. The resident speaks up. A second resident speaks up. She's just not doing them hard enough. And I'm like, all right, she's literally been talked to by 2 people who said she's not doing enough and she's not changed. I gotta hop in again, I guess. I don't know what the fuck else to do. So I hop in, bro. I literally did compressions the rest of the time, except at one point, the cool resident I've been working with, she stepped in. She was a bigger girl, like not like fat, but just like bigger frame, more muscular. And so she steps in. She's like, all right, I'll do compressions for a bit. Just to give you like a 10-second break. Yeah. And so she comes in and just like honestly does them way too hard, but she did them, and then I hop back in again. But dude, I was doing it for like 40 fucking minutes.
What?
It was insane. I was so tired.
How many cycles, man?
The next day when I woke up, my shoulders were just
I bet,
aching,
man.
dude. But it was cool to experience it. But
one time I did it for like 6 minutes. I did 3 cycles.
Dude, isn't it tiring as fuck? But I just got into his own, like where you're just like, dude, this is the crazy workout. Like, let's go.
They're giving him adrenaline, and then they give you adrenaline.
yeah, they hit me with that. They just put it right into my ass a couple of times. Yeah. It was kind of crazy, and they did it without telling me. So I was like, holy shit, But it was pretty sweet. Yeah. No, dude, it was fucking crazy. And then this kid was just. I definitely felt his ribs cracked under my hands. But
after 40 minutes.
Then one thing I hadn't really experienced was doing procedures while you're doing compressions. So they're like, they're like putting chest tubes on the like sides, like in between his ribs, while I'm doing compressions. So I'm trying to like soften my compressions, but keep doing them hard enough, so like not jerk this kid around, so they can literally cut in between the ribs, which is like a less than 1 centimeter area for them to cut, and then put the tube in. So it's this very delicate thing. And so they put in bilateral chest tubes, and I'm literally like spacing out my fingers so that they have an area to use their scalpel. They're like, at first, and then after we did it the first time, they're like, all right, maybe stop compressions so before we do the next chest tube, because we don't want to cut your fucking hand.
But I think like if you're going for that long, like the chances of getting them back is like super low, right?
Super
so
low,
they're like, fuck it, let's just like start doing shit.
Yeah.
So the kid didn't survive.
The kid did not survive. The kid died.
Okay.
And so then we I'm fucking dripping sweat, and then we have like, hey, stop compressions. Okay. We'll have a moment of silence. One of the residents said, which was kind of cool, because like the mom was, I don't know if cool is the right word. The mom is right there watching this whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah, this is not the mom that got hit by the car. Okay, my bad.
And man, she just, we have this moment of silence. No one's talking. We silence the alarms and stuff, and then once
your phone goes off.
And then my phone goes off, and it's like, my milkshake's bring on the boys to the yard. That's right, they're better than yours. And everyone respected that. So you
didn't want to answer it.
Yeah, and they actually promoted me to a doctor that day. It's cool. Yeah.
Skip residency altogether.
Super cool. But no, then it was super fucked up. And then the mom, like, we finished the moment of silence, and everyone starts like dispersing, cleaning up, doing their thing, and then the mom just starts bawling, bro. She's just like like my baby's dead, just like screaming it. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, holy fuck. Like,
That's
that's
tough.
fucked up.
So who had to go talk to her?
I don't know who was talking to her. I think it was like EMS or I don't know, nurses or something like that.
Dude,
That would, yeah.
that was
that's
the
fucking-
hardest job.
yeah.
Your job was easy
For real,
compared to
yeah.
like what they
I just had to
do.
slam my hands on his chest.
I know.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck, man?
So with like my experience in compressions, so I did like those 6 minutes and I was dead the next day. 40 fucking minutes,
Bro,
dude.
I was going off, bro.
You must have slept for like 18 hours.
Dude,
or
yeah,
some
and I
shit.
finally got a great night's sleep. Normally, I wake up like 3 hours because, you know, I'm sleeping in the middle of the
It's night
day.
shift,
It's just
yeah.
not, yeah. But then I slept, until my next shift.
Yeah.
So I slept like it was like 16 hours. It was a lot.
We had a girl too doing compressions. She's like literally 4'10".
Dude,
And-
you'd have to be a beast.
She was doing it. She started compressions. She was putting her entire fucking body weight into it. The guy's chest barely moved.
Right. That's the same, bro. It was literally like it was like slapping his chest. I'm like, oh no, there's
Yeah.
no way he's getting blood supply.
No one-
And then with the girls that were there, like at one point, it made me furious because it's fine if you just aren't able to do it, right? I
Yeah.
get it, but two residents who know their shit have told you you're not doing it the right way and you haven't been able to fix it. So you should just exit anyway. But she didn't. Okay. But then at one point we're trying to figure out, what else could we do to this kid that we haven't done yet? Because
Yeah.
you know he's probably dead. But maybe what else could we do?
They gotta do something.
that we haven't tried. And she's like, well, you know, how about we do a chest X-ray? Why are you talking? You're not even doing compressions correctly. She's like looking up and talking to us as she's doing it. We're like, yo, focus.
Do it properly. First do that and then you can talk.
Right. So yeah, that whole thing was pretty wild. And then, you know, you finish, you're done, and you like walk back and you're just full of fucking adrenaline.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It
all
wakes
right,
you up.
now, you know, now sit down and write your
Then you
your
went to your world
notes
questions.
and yeah, do your world questions. Yeah. And your body is just ready to fight the world.
Dude, it's crazy.
So
That
you're like
adrenaline.
trying to chill out. And then
They don't care about you know, keeping anything sterile, you know. So one time when I was involved in compressions, I was doing it, sweat's dripping off like every part of me, dude. Like my arms are like sweating, my face is sweating, everything's dripping, and they're putting in a central line into this guy's like groin, and they were sweating on his like, you know, they clean the area.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. None of that is sterile.
Yeah, they put a fucking central line, and it's supposed to be completely sterile.
Yeah.
because it's going
You're
literally
supposed
into
to
your
clean the area multiple times. Then you put like a drape down that's sterile
Yeah.
over it. That's encircling where you're gonna put the incision and like put in the tube.
Yeah.
You're completely sterile. You've cleaned up. You've put on sterile gloves. All the utensils you use are completely sterile. And like no one can touch you. No one can go into
Yeah.
that field of sterility.
and you're going into directly into a blood
And you're
vessel.
going directly into a
the
main
one that
blood
leads
vessel.
straight to the heart.
Straight to the fucking heart. And we're sweating into the wound, bro.
Everything.
That's fucking
The guy was
insane.
so far gone that like
Yeah.
they were like, you know,
Right, that's the last thing that should matter. It's like,
They're like-
well, I'll give you sepsis if it brings you back. Like,
yeah. But the reason we did that was because literally his heart wouldn't beat unless we gave him continuous like epinephrine. Without that, his heart was not beating. So they're like, fuck it, we need to like put this in, give him epi, otherwise he's
at least
dead.
his heart was beating.
His heart was beating when I made it beat. Otherwise, it was not beating.
I am the beating heart of this man.
It was actually a really good feeling because he didn't have a pulse, and I was going, and like the doctor was like, "Stop, we need to check for a pulse." So we checked, and they did ultrasound on him, and his heart was beating, and I was like, "Shit, I did that." That
Okay,
was
bro. Show hand of God.
that was me that did that. It is a great feeling. I will say, like in EM, like I fucking hate dealing with like the day-to-day patients, but some of the parts of like the resuscitations are really like interesting, and like that's gonna change lives instantly, kind of thing.
And it feels good, but it's also like, damn, a lot of people could have done that same thing, you
Yeah.
know? So I don't know how, like...
Well, giving medications and stuff like that, the stuff that you decide is a lot of like, it's up in the air of like what you want to do, and that's the stuff that makes a difference. You better hope that if you're like in the emergency room, you have a doctor that like knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between someone who knows their shit and someone who doesn't, man. Like, it might be the difference between life and death.
It's like night and
real.
day, dude.
Yeah. For real.
And then you gotta like keep track of all the medications you gave.
You gotta keep track. And then if you aren't quick decision maker or you don't like lead the situation and you're a doctor, man, you might fuck up the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really respect this doctor. She's great and knows her shit, but she probably should have told those girls to just not do compressions anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
At
it's
that
a mistake.
so I don't like saying things when I'm like not.
That's the
lead.
thing. There should be one main voice out there. Yeah, other people should recommend things and stuff, but it should be one main voice, and it definitely shouldn't be me, the medical student, who's like the 10th most important voice there to be making
It's
decisions.
sad, bro. You're freaking the last important voice.
Right,
like the
right.
nurses are all above you.
Exactly.
Like
So yeah,
the mom is above you.
So for
even.
me to start like speaking up at that time to be like, hey, we should change. We shouldn't have these people doing compressions. Like, it's not my place, you know.
But honestly, it probably came off good for you.
Bro, I looked great. And you know what's crazy? This is kind of fucked up, but I did this whole thing. A child died, an unnecessary death, and the mom is sobbing next to me. My baby's dead. My baby's dead.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about, I probably looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wow, I'm fucked up. But I don't know. I think like maybe a lot of people would kind of have the same like thoughts and feelings at that time.
Did you get any attaboys afterwards?
I guess I don't know. Get any what?
Attaboys?
I did. No, it didn't. It wasn't until the next day, really. I mean, the main resident at the time told me after, like, hey, like, good job, like, and confirmed with me. He's like, hey, look, like, you're literally the only one doing compressions correctly, so it's good you stayed in there.
Yeah.
And then the next day, everyone kind of was like the I saw the attending again. She's like, hey, like, it was during rounds, all the doctors and shit are there. She's like, hey, like, really good job at compressions and shit.
Nice.
I'm like, thanks.
So you're making like.
And then people started cracking jokes about it. I forget. It was like, the resident who I was working with, she was fucking awesome. I like her a lot. Senior resident, she's like, oh yeah, it's like, I trained him really well, just tries to take my credit from me.
This is my first day.
And then the other resident's like, yeah, they won't give you anything.
Yeah. At least that's good. You're like, they're making like, a good impression.
Yeah.
How is your diagnostics on like the day-to-day stuff?
Like how I've been doing with the day-to-day patients and stuff.
And presenting.
Bro, I've been doing relative to me, I've been crushing it.
That's good. Because when I was there, I never got good at patient presentations. They're like, this is too much information.
I was so bad before, yeah. And I mean, just based on knowledge, I was presenting poorly. I would forget information. I would do it unorganized, like all that. And then sometimes I'd literally forget to like assess the patient and give a diagnosis, but now, dude, I've kind of got once you get that like second nature to the organization of it, now you can actually just focus on what's wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't have to think about, now I do the HPI and hey, make sure you don't forget this. Like now that it just kind of happens a little bit, I mean, I still have to think about it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, dude, it's so much better. Now I can just think about what is wrong, and now I get how like doctors and do it and shit. Because at one point I'm like, how these motherfuckers even do this? Like I am struggling so much. But it's once you get like a layout, and this goes for fucking everything. Like even like just everything. Like once you get a layout in your head, now you can focus on the actual things that are problems.
It's been like a literal year since you did.
Yeah, it's been a year since the last time I did ER. So
and you went through everything in that time.
Yeah.
So now you know about like basically any possible thing people could come in with. It's crazy. Only a year it took, and now you know like 90% of what's gonna.
Yeah,
come
dude.
Through the door.
Yeah, I've really been crushing almost every single diagnosis, so I've been feeling pretty hot about it.
I think people think like EM is simplistic in that way, but it's tough, man. Like the fact that
the breadth of knowledge is way wider.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's fun.
I literally after 6 weeks, a month and a half, I never got good at presentations. Like they always were like, okay, you need to like change something. But,
like, yo, something's gotta change, bro. I don't know what it is, but fuck.
Like, why aren't you learning?
Fuck.
And I just never got good. So it's like, it's for sure that you have to be a certain type of person to excel in a situation like that. So the fact that you're selling, we were talking about it the other day too, and we're like, what is Trevor gonna do? And they were like, and everyone at brunch was like, we couldn't see him doing anything else.
That's pretty sick.
That's the only thing we could see him doing.
That's
it just makes
sick.
sense.
Yeah, That's dope. I like that.
I think it's built for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to know. I mean, a big problem with a lot of people, including myself back in the day, was like, what is my point on this like earth? You know what I mean? And I don't know if this is the answer, but it'll be nice for a period of time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, look, I feel good here, you know?
Until you have money to retire.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to do it for 1 year. It'll be sweet. And then I'll do, you know, I'll quit and be a janitor or something. So it'll be sweet for that time.
I don't know why you'd want to go take such a huge demotion, but like menial backbreaking work for like 8 hours a day for not good pay.
Literally cleaning up after the doctors.
Yeah, you could do like a lot of other things. Yo, so let's wrap it up. Wrap it up there. Back to studying. Not looking forward to it.
You got to do psych, but you haven't been studying that much because you don't have to. Yeah.
This past like few weeks since I started, it's just been ERAS applications and case report. By the way, which D hasn't helped with at all yet, and I wasn't going to talk about it, and I'm not, but I just want to drop that in because I'm super annoyed.
D, if you're listening, D.
Literally, L like has helped more in the past week than D's done altogether, and it's like unbelievable.
Is he even on the case report?
Yeah, he said he wanted to like do some help because he wanted a publication, and we're not going to get it published in time.
He doesn't have one?
No.
The god himself has no publication?
Yeah, surprisingly enough.
Interesting.
And I asked D for like some pictures and stuff to send me from the hospital, and he still hasn't done it. It's been like 4 days.
You know, one interesting thing though, before we go, doing the case reports is funny. To get a case report, it's just research. All you have to do is like ask a resident or an attending, hey, do you have any like interesting patients that we can do a case report on? Super easy, right? But that is the rarest part of the whole process. Like people, like a med student asking for it is the rarest part because it's just like so nerve-wracking, I guess. So, but it's also the easiest part technically, right? All you have to do is just ask them, and then they give it to you. So if you're smart, which honestly, a guy we know who's an asshole, but it's a smart thing to do. He just asks a bunch of people for case reports, and then he gets them, and then he just waves them around and go, you know, pulls his dick out and goes, hey, look at this, anyone want it? And then everyone clamors for it, and then he just has them do a bunch of the work. I mean, honestly, he's written most of them, if not all of them. So it's like, okay, I respect that. But if he wanted to, and he was a total asshole, he could literally just have them do everything. You could just outsource all the work to everyone because that's the rarest portion, even though it was the easiest for him to do.
Because even if like, you know, there's 3 people, you don't know what his contribution is. You know, you could do whatever.
Right.
So
yeah, and he could literally outsource the writing to someone else and just not tell anybody. Like it could be that third person named on the thing, and then he could be the first person. He's going to be obviously the first person named on each paper. So he's the one who led the paper. He's going to get the most notoriety. It's most important to be named first. So yeah,
he's such a dick though. I wouldn't want to work with him even with that.
Oh, I know. I mean, I worked with him out of like I just was like grinding my teeth the whole time. But I'm like, hey man, I get a publication, so. But now I'm doing it. Now I'm the Hitler of the situation.
Did you get the publication with him?
Yeah. Apparently he's trying. Yeah. We wrote it. And apparently he's trying. He talked to the neurologist to try to get it through. So he's like, all right, I'll try to do it. You know, whatever in a few days or something. So hopefully it'll be in time for Gabriel because he's in on it too. So
it won't be in time for Gabriel.
It won't. It's over with.
No, because if you submit it, you can't put it. It has to be published, and it takes at least a month.
Oh, okay.
But yours will be.
Mine will be because I'm delaying. Yeah, it'll be chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm kidding. I mean, I'm gonna write the paper. I'm gonna do most of the work for the one that I'm doing. But I do have people helping me, and their names will be on it too. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Try to get first author, man.
I will. No, I am gonna be. There's no way I'm gonna be first author for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the whole like fucking thing. They're gonna do some research on the discussion.
I'm gonna put Dean acknowledgements. So, so his name doesn't come up.
Bro, that would be horrible.
I asked my dad. My dad's like, no, you gotta leave him, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you gotta leave him in, but you could talk shit, you know, on the podcast.
He has three sentences, bro. 26 words, and we changed most of it. 60% of his sentences. 60% of his 3 sentences we changed.
But I bet it's a strong 26 words though, huh?
Fuck, I'm not gonna talk any more shit. I promised myself I wouldn't talk shit. And
it's all in Spanish. Like, dude, we can't use this.
We can use him for the Spanish translation.
But all right, man. Good pod. I'll let you get
Trevor's
to
spot.
your intensive psych studying.
It's not intensive, but it's studying.
Good luck. Appreciate everyone listening, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next week. How should we conclude podcasts? Is there like a format?
Some people put songs.
What do you like?
but-
Summarize? I know. Like I have like a fade out music, like, and that helps.
I think,
But is there
yeah.
something we can say, or do people just go, all right, bye,
I think you could put like the Looney Tunes. That's all, folks.
and get copyrighted super hard?
We have nothing to give.
Yeah, I know.
We don't
I know.
make any
It would be a favor to copyright
Yeah.
to call us out on one of these.
We'll get 50 new viewers for them.
All right.
That's all, folks.
Peace.